All right, so let's look at the muscular fitness case study. So question number 1 says complete the ratio column in the table above for each test item by calculating strength to body mass ratios. And I give you the formula for determining the ratio. It's the 1 repetition max divided by the body mass. Now in this chart that I'm showing on my chalkboard, I'm going to use the pounds. You could have used kilograms as well to do the calculations. And so for the first one, body mass is 110, or repetition max is 110. So 110 divided by the body mass, and if you recall from the case study, I told you that the person's body mass or body weight in pounds, since we're doing it in pounds, is 170. So 110 divided by 170 would give us 0.64. And then we just keep on here, 60 divided by 170 again, just the body weight in pounds, give us 0.35. Then once again, 1 repetition max divided by body weight in pounds, it's 135 divided by 170 will give us 0.79. Then 300 divided by 170 will give us 1.76. And then the 95 divided by 170, excuse my handwriting, will give us 0.56. And then the 60 divided by 170 will give us again 0.35. All right, so those are our ratios for each of the test items. So bench press, arm curl, lat pull down. And so I used abbreviations here so that I wouldn't have to write it all out. Leg press, leg extension, leg curl. All right, so those are the ratios for number 1. All right, so I'm hoping that with this case study, you also have your case study out and are following along, as well as your textbook. And so number 2 says, using table 6.6, complete the points column in the table above based on your calculations from number 1. Then you want to total your points and then use table 6.6 again to classify Harold's overall strength. And so if you have your textbook and you go to table 6.6, you'll see that 0.64 for the bench press, and keep in mind we said that Harold was a man, so we're looking under men and under bench press, and we look for that 0.64. Well, 0.60 is assigned a score or a point of 1. Now, even though the ratio that we came up with, 0.64, is a little more than 0.60, it's not high enough to be assigned 2 points, because to get 2 points, you have to have a ratio for the bench press of 0.70 or 0.70. So we couldn't give him 2 points. So for this one, we just give him 1 point. We don't add anything to it like, oh, it's a little above 0.6, so I'm gonna make it 1.2 or 1 point. No, we're using the table once again to assign these points. So we can do this for the rest of them. 0.35, once again, that'll give him 3 points. 0.79 for the lat pull down gives him 1 point. 1.76 for the leg press gives him 3 points. 0.56 for leg extension gives him 5 points. And then 0.35 for the leg curl gives him another 3 points. And then you want to total these points. So 1 plus 3 is 4, 4 plus 1 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 5 is 13, 13 plus 3 gives us 16 total. And so if you look at the bottom of table 6.6 and look at the range of points that they have there, 16 points as a score will give you a strength fitness category of fair. So our client, Harold, has a strength fitness category of fair. Okay, so question number 3. Calculate Harold's quadriceps to hamstring ratio. Based on table 6.14 in your textbook, how does Harold's knee extensor to hamstring ratio compare to what is recommended? So once again, you need your textbook. You go to table 6.14, you see that the recommended ratio of quads to hamstring is 3 to 2. All right, so what's recommended is a 3 to 2 ratio. And if you know anything about ratios, you can take that 3 and divide it by 2 if you're trying to do a calculation. And that'll give you 1.5. So this is what is recommended for the ratio with the quads to hamstring. And so here we have a 95 to 60 ratio for the quad to hamstring. All right, so we'll do it just like we did this. 95 divided by 60. And that'll give us something like 1.58. All right, so if I were looking at this, I would say, well, Harold is good with his ratio of quads to hamstrings because it's similar to what's recommended. All right, lastly, number 4. Harold's goal is to improve strength. Notice I have strength bold and underlined because if I said that Harold is trying to improve his endurance, then you would prescribe something differently. So trying to improve endurance versus trying to improve strength, that requires something different. So Harold's goal is to improve strength. If you were to design a resistance training program for him that uses free weights and exercise machines, what would week 1 of the program entail? Be sure to complete this in the table below. Then I said, how will you know when it's time to increase Harold's resistance? So basically what I was looking for with this is just a general strength training program. And based on Harold's numbers, since you're trying to increase strength, I would look to see that you had a repetition max between 60 to 80% because it has to be relatively high to gain strength. And then I would look for you to have 8 to 12 reps for each of the exercises that you prescribed to Harold. And then I was looking for you to have at least 8 to 10 different exercises because that's what's recommended. And then when trying to gain strength, your textbook gives you the amount of rest that that client would need. And so I was looking for a rest time of no more than 2 to 3 minutes. All right, no more than 2 to 3 minutes. So if you're looking at your case study, you see I was looking for the exercise, and so I didn't want arm exercises. No, you had to be specific. So let me know, was Harold going to be doing bicep curls? Was he going to be doing push-ups? Because I said, using free weights as well as machines. So you could have intermingled those two. And then with load, once again, for the repetition max, I was looking for you to put 60 to 80% since he's trying to build strength. with number of sets, I was looking for you to have 8 to 12 repetitions, so it had to fall within that range. If you had 5 repetitions, then that's not enough to build strength. And then once again, with the rest time, I didn't want you to have more than 3 minutes of rest for each exercise. And keep in mind, this was for the first week of exercise, and it's only recommended that you do strength training exercises 2 to 3 times a week, no more than 3 times a week. So you could have repeated twice what you were going to have Harold doing for the week.